Book 2. The Librarian. That evening, I decided that a trip to the town's library might shed some light on the subject. I arrived with my newfound tome in hand to an old building. Adorning the top of this structure was a sign. This must have been the ancient library of Barnes and Noble, seemingly the last of its kind. I entered the store to find an old Swiss man in glasses at the counter. As he welcomed me inside, I pulled the Protonomicon out of my autumn coat's pocket. Once he got a look at it, he started to yell at me.
Be gone from this store! I thought I had told you I have no interest in your accursed ritual!
I explained to him that I was not involved in any rituals, and that I had obtained this book after it was dropped by a large, cloaked gentleman.
Bonzi,
he whispered. I was confused, and despite every fiber of my being telling me to not let my curiosity get the best of me, I pressed him about this Bonzi. The librarian's name was one H. West. Many years ago, he was a scientist who studied the means of reanimation. 6 years ago, he was approached by a purple, ape-like creature, one who called himself Bonzi. The ape asked Mr. West to bring an old friend of his back to life, but the scientist refused, finding the disease to be painfully unfunny. When that failed, it seemed that the ape turned to the dark arts to bring back his lost comrade. Over time, he had fallen down the rabbit hole of tales of ancient otherworldly gods. He had come to believe that his friend was actually the reincarnation of an eldritch god, and began to publish books about this idea. When these ideas started to spread to the people of New England, Mr. West feared the hellish ramifications of these teachings, and bought the only remaining bookstore to avoid any more spread of their rhetoric. But by the time he did, Bonzi's cult had spread across multiple citizens of the town, preaching the promise of a cleaner world. That statement in particular caught me off guard. West had noticed that I was visibly shaken, even for a split second. I assured him that it was nothing and convinced him to continue. Pressing up his glasses like an anime man, he went on with the story. He told me of the rumor that they were on the cusp of reviving Bonzi's friend. But if the books of old were anything to go by, this ritual would leave the revived individual as less of a man and more of an abomination. I asked Mr. West if there was any way to dismantle this ritual, but he believed it was far too late, and that the town would soon face this unforeseen wrath.
Now get out of this god-forsaken place while your sanity is still intact. We're far beyond saving. Even going near this town, it gets to you. It invades your mind.
I'm caught by surprise again.
Yes, see? The first time I mentioned the cult's message, I could see it in you. Their grip, their influence has already taken hold. Your mind and your dreams become clean.
At this point, I knew it was more than just coincidence. Those dreams...
Utter sensory deprivation, yes? Like you're feeling nothing at all. Pure cleanliness.
West ran a finger over the tome.
I've been studying this very closely. This is how I know it all. But there's something else about it. The book brings the message in more ways than one. I'm sure you have felt it. It weighs nothing, feels like nothing. How long have you been holding this?
Barely a few hours. West sighed in relief, then raised his fist.
As for me...
He opened his palm, and what I saw sent cold chills down my spine. His hand, the wrinkles, the fingerprints, all gone. Like they were sanded clean off.
I've been holding it far too long.
Suddenly, a purple hand grabbed me from behind and forced a chloroformed rag onto my face.